So as of recent years, manga has been at an all-time high from all around the globe. New series come out and before you know it, they're already making a name for themselves and even reaching the point to getting an anime within the next year or so of their serialization. We've had a few titles just as of recent pop into the sphere and already come out into the mainstream of media. Series like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Spy Family, and even our most recent sports series like Blue Lock, which I know will only be seen as the next Haikyuu in the sports anime fandom when the anime is to release later on this year. But what about some of the more popularized titles that have been thriving in the manga industry but still have yet to receive any mainstream attention? I mean, I know I've been waiting for a Mashle and Dandadan anime announcement for some time to come, but one series definitely has been the standout no-brainer to receive some form of an anime adaptation due to its sales and popularity. And that series is, well, who would have thought, but Kaiju No. 8, a title that has been absolutely dominating over the past almost 2 years that has been serialized for within Jump Plus. Now, Jump Plus has notably stated that their current quote-unquote big three within the magazine, or as they deemed it, the three pillars of the magazine, Spy Family, Dandadan, and of course Kaiju No. 8, and with Spy Family already taking home so much recognition and prevailing attention with both its manga, but more importantly its anime, it's looking like the setup for the other two pillars are going to be absolutely phenomenal. And with Dandadan still kind of in its early stages, well actually now that I think about it, both Kaiju No. 8 and Dandadan both relatively have the same amount of chapters. So the only difference is that Kaiju No. 8 goes on for longer break periods, giving more time for a weekly series like Dandadan to have more chapters stacked up. But it goes without saying that the sales for Kaiju No. 8 are drastically different from the other two pillars within Jump Plus. Kaiju No. 8 has around just under 7 million copies sold, while both Spy Family with an anime intact has around 3.5 million, and Dandadan somewhere in the 1.5 million range. So if we take a step back and look at just the extensive growth Kaiju No. 8 has been building up over the last what has almost been 2 years, really, it's kind of crazy to even think about. And I'm sure with the progression of the series, Kaiju No. 8 can easily be seen as one of the most legendary series that this generation has to offer. And yet, Kaiju No. 8 still doesn't have an anime, let alone a trailer or even studio announcement. Although recently, there have been rumors floating around that Toho Animation will be that of a producing studio for Kaiju No. 8. But still, we've been kind of left in the dark as to whether this is true or not. However, recently, Cloverworks, Wood Studio, Shueisha, and Aniplex have combined forces to found, I think it's called Join, a new company focused on the production of art and animation, meaning that possibly, just like Spy Family being worked on by both Cloverworks and Wood Studio, they could be looking to pick up another title from Jump Plus, aka Kaiju No. 8. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if that were to be the case later on this year. But regardless of the anime, the manga is still reaching new heights and is picking up better than it ever has. I think the progression within the series has been very stellar for a manga that only releases bi-monthly. But as for the character growth as of recently compared to my last video on the series, which has been well over a year ago from today, the manga has definitely been on the rise, introducing new forms of kaiju and new characters that are intimidating to say the least. I've been having tons of fun letting the series build up and reading it within increments, and if you've been caught up to the manga for a while now, you would know just what I'm talking about, because Kaiju No. 8 has been doing a great job at balancing both its characters and the plot of the story from time to time, giving room to expand on character growth and even the world building of the world. Not to mention, but just the smaller details as well, like the mangaka Naoya Matsumoto's attention to kaiju artillery and combat. It's been super fun being able to see the weapons of such character being utilized in battle against the kaiju. Having said that, I think for a battle shonen, it's doing a wonderful job at balancing the best of both worlds of fights and emotional moments, with characters giving that flavorful blend of the best of both worlds. As for the pacing of the series though, when reading the chapters, it's almost like it tends to be a very fast read for a singular chapter, hence why I tend to let chapters usually stack up, but in reality, the manga has a flow to it, bringing such a unique and charming course to it that's just pleasing to the eye when reading the series. The arcs are fairly enough in my opinion though, just a little shorter than what we would typically expect from a battle shonen, but I wouldn't doubt that sooner or later we'll be getting one or more of those longer arcs within the series. And currently with how everything is looking within recent chapters, characters outside of just our main character are getting a lot more shine than they ever have before. So if you take a step back, you really start to just see how everything is falling into place within the manga. So I think with how Kaiju No. 8 is pacing its story while still setting up some major characters and antagonists, that the source of the kaiju will be pinpointed soon enough, leading to a very exciting and thrilling arc for the future to come. But now with that being said, I've been kind of pondering this question for quite some time now, but what exactly does the future for Kaiju No. 8 might really look like. Well, to be honest, I think as of things go for the anime, that we're for sure going to be looking at some sort of anime announcement within this year. I mean, if the rumors are true about Toho producing the series, then we could be looking at quite the budget for the series, which is obvious considering just how well Kaiju No. 8 does in sales within Japan. I also wouldn't be surprised to see MAPPA pick up another Titan-based series after Attack on Titan's ending. I think they would feel fairly confident enough to take on such a title. So MAPPA for one, but of course I would love to see Cloverworks and Wit Studio pick up Kaiju No. 8 because of how much this series revolves around that black outlining in the manga, and if we could just go back to that of which was the early seasons of Attack on Titan style, but on Kaiju No. 8, I think that would fit absolutely perfectly with the series. It would be both very refreshing with how far animation has come since then, and very reminiscent of something all of us deeply remember and enjoy. As for the manga though, we're still in its early stages with Kaiju No. 8 having less than 100 chapters, and it's still relatively new and there's just so much more room to grow, and I would love to see the world touched upon a little bit more and just to see the source of kaiju and how they came to be in the series. I think those questions are huge ones for the manga that will definitely be touched upon later on down the line. So with how everything is looking, it's quite exciting to be a fan of the series right now with not just the manga but the future predictions for the anime to come. The only thing that I'm worried about though is whether or not the anime will have loads of CGI or not, because if that's the case then we might have some sort of problem on our hands, but honestly with how well this series does in terms of its sales, I think the budget for the anime should be quite high, bringing more fans to the series and probably one of the biggest animes to come from this next wave and generation of shonen anime and manga. But if surprisingly enough this is even your first time hearing about the series of Kaiju No. 8, then I highly suggest you go and check it out because this series is such a nostalgic feeling of battle shonen on top of something that also gives you a retrospective on a new innovative wave of manga. So go ahead and do yourself a favor and hop right on the bi-weekly experience for this series and have fun and look forward to the future of Kaiju No. 8, because to tell you the truth, you're not going to want to miss out on what's to come next from this title. But as always, to close things out, this has been Augie. As always, make sure you do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, comment, and subscribe for more. I talk about your favorite series when I want to, and check out my Twitter and Instagram at AnimeAugie, because you know that's what we do at the end of videos. Later everyone.